بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. This week we are going to have 2 lessons on philosophy because this is the end of our term and we want to finish introduction to philosophy. So this session is about lesson 10, which is the last lesson or final lesson of Introduction to Philosophy by Ayatullah Mutahhri. It is about wujub, imkan and imtina. So part of the discussion is about logic or mantiq, part of the discussion is about philosophy, and inshallah I will try to make it easy, inshallah. In logic, we say that every statement has mawdu and mahmul, subject and predicate. Okay, mawdu and mahmul, subject and predicate. Between subject and predicate, normally what we notice is either affirmation or negation. Yeah. So for example, we say A is B or A is not B. Yeah. For example, we say this person is a poet or this person is not a poet. This person is tall or this person is not tall. Okay. This is very simple. This is what you learn in Nahv, in grammar. In mantiq, in logic, they go further. They say between subject and predicate, there are 3 possibilities. We go beyond grammar. We consider the relation between these 2 things. Sometimes A is impossible to be B. If you just say it is not B, it doesn't show whether it is possible and is not B or it's impossible. Yeah. Sometimes A is not B just because it has not happened. Sometimes it's impossible. So sometimes the relation between subject and predicate is what? Impossibility. They call this imtina'. Al-imtina' means to be impossible. Mumtana' means impossible. Sometimes A is B and must be always B. There's no way that A is not B. For example, we say 4 is even. Al-arba'atu zawjun. Yeah, 4 is even. Can 4 be not even, be odd? No. If we say 4 is odd, imtina', impossible. If we say 4 is even, we call what? Wujub or dharura. Or if you want as an adjective, wajib or dharuri. Okay? So the relation between predicate and subject sometimes is impossible. Sometimes is necessary. And there is one more option. What is that? Neither impossible nor necessary. Salbu dharuratain. Then it is possibility, or it's better to say contingency. Contingency means it's neither necessary nor impossible. Because if we just say possible, possible means imkana means it's not impossible. It can be necessary For example, is God possible? Yes. It's necessary but also possible. But if is God contingent? No. God is necessary. Okay? So there are three options, three possibilities, and this is about every subject and every predicate. Now we go to philosophy. Philosophers talk about what? About wujud, or mawjud bima huwa mawjud, being as such. Therefore, they are not talking about any type of a statement, any type of proposition. They talk about those statements that wujud is mahmul, is predicate. So you have a mahiyya and then wujud, or a notion and wujud. For example, you say al-insanu mawjudun, or Allah mawjudun, or sharikul bari mawjudun. Okay, anything. When you make any sentence and you have a subject and predicate, the predicate is wujud, those three options come here now between wujud and anything that you put in the beginning. Either wujud is impossible for that. Okay? We call it mumtani'ul wujud. We said in general we call mumtana'. But now because the predicate is wujud, we say mumtani'ul wujud. Okay? It's impossible to exist. Like sharikul bari, a second God can exist or cannot exist? Cannot exist. Okay? Or contradiction cannot exist. So sometimes it's impossible to exist. It's mumtani'ul wujud. Sometimes it is necessary to exist, like Allah mawjudun. Wujud is wajib. I'm not saying Allah is existing or not now. We have to prove, yeah? But I'm saying the concept of Allah is wajibul wujud. If Allah is there, it must be wajibul wujud. If Allah is not there, that's another issue. But we are talking about wajibul wujud. Whether you are accepting or not, we are not talking about something which is mumkin. We are talking about something which is wajib. Allah is wajib. Insan, faras, shajar, human beings, horse, I don't know, elephant, flower, etc. Pen, book. Are these necessary to exist? No, because many of them didn't exist before, and even now when you look at them, there is no problem if they don't exist. So they don't need to exist. They don't also need not to exist. So they are not mumtani'ul wujud and they are not wajibul wujud. We call them mumkinul wujud. Okay? So in philosophy, we bring those three things that logicians call mawaddul qadiyya. Those three modes of sentence, we bring it to wujud and we say either wujud is wajib or it's mumtana' or none of the two, which is mumkin. Okay? They very much use these three in philosophical discussions. Therefore, in order to make it easier and in order not to be always in need of making a sentence, they bring the concept of bizzat. Wajibul wujud bizzat. Mumtani'ul wujud bizzat. Mumkinul wujud bizzat. Means when you consider the essence of it, it's either impossible to exist or it's necessary to exist or none of the two. So how many types we can have? Three. Wajibul wujud bizzat. Means it's necessary by itself or himself. Mumtana wujud is impossible by itself. Contingent is neither necessary nor impossible, like us. Every mahiyya is actually mumkin al-wujud. Every quiddity is mumkin al-wujud. كل ماهية زوج تركيبي من وجود كل ممكن زوج تركيب من وجود وماهية وكل ماهية إذا متساوية النسبة إلى الوجود والعدم. There is something I don't want to confuse you, but inshallah when we have a more advanced course on philosophy, I would ask you to memorize. And I say this is good for your first night in Qabr. If the angel has interest in philosophy, you can, entertain him. Al-mahiyatu amkanat. It's very important. Al-mahiyatu amkanat fahtajat. Mahiya is mumkin, and because it is mumkin is muhtaj. This is very important in philosophy. Yeah? It's not hudus. Because of imkan, al-mahiyatu amkanat fahtajat. Fa'ujibat. Then the cause comes and necessitates this. Fawajabat. Then it becomes necessary. Inshallah we'll talk about wajib al-wujud bil-ghayr soon. So, amkanat, fahtajat, fa'ujibat, fawajabat, fa'ujidat, fawujidat. So, first it is contingent. Therefore, it's needy. Then the cause gives necessity to it, so it becomes necessary by the other. Then it's given existence, and then it exists. So this is the analysis of our aql of something that exists. It's very important. So, wajibul wujud bizat, mumtani'ul wujud bizat, mumkinul wujud bizat. Okay? These are three options. Now I ask you a question. Those things that exist, how many options they have? Pardon? Two. Yes, only two. Because one of these is what the thing that cannot exist. Mumtani'ul wujud bizat, we cannot have. So there are three options, but when we look at what exists, it's either wajibul wujud bizat or mumkinul wujud bizat. Yes? Anything that exists has to be one of the two. Either it's necessary by itself, or by itself is just contingent, and if it exists needs an external cause. If it doesn't exist, also needs external cause. Okay? So this is one discussion. Another discussion is everything which is mumkinul wujud bizat. Wajibul wujud bizat doesn't need anything, yeah, because he is creating everything, so he's self-sufficient. Anything which is mumkinul wujud bizat, anything which is contingent, okay, means neither existence is necessary nor non-existence. For example, human beings. What is definition of human being? Al-Haywanun Natiq. Not Al-Haywanun Natiqul Mawjud or Al-Haywanun Natiqul Ma'dum. Wujud and Adam are not part of the Mahiyya of Insan. Do you know what problem could happen if Wujud or Adam were there? If Wujud was taken as part of our Mahiyya, then we had to exist always. If Adam was taken, then we had to be non-existent always. So, Mahiyya mutasawiyatun nisbah ila al-wujud wal-adam. Okay? Shall I ask you a difficult question? You can try. Who? If someone asks you, you believe in the principle of contradiction, you say anything is either mawjud or ma'doom. Anything either exists or doesn't exist, because wujud and adam are contradictory. We cannot have something that exists and doesn't exist, or something that doesn't exist and doesn't also apply to it that it doesn't exist. Wujud and Adam cannot be together, and also we cannot have none of them. Yeah? اجتماع النقيضين محال ارتفاع النقيضين إذن محال. Two contradictory things cannot exist together and cannot depart us together. Yeah? One of the two has to be there. So, if someone asks you this question, if you don't give answer, it's okay. If you give answer, it's very good. So I don't expect you to give the answer, but if you give the answer, it's very good. If someone says, Wujud and Adam are contradictory, so one of them has to always exist. But you say, Mahiya is empty from Wujud and Adam. Neither Wujud is there nor Adam. Isn't this against principle of contradiction? For example, Faras either exists or doesn't. Do we have a horse here or we don't have? Either we have or we don't have. You cannot have a third option. Yeah? Do we have a rose flower here or not? Either we have or we don't have. Why you say neither existence nor non-existence are in Mahiyya?
You said Wujud and Adam are not part of the Mahiyya.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't matter whether that object exists in real life or not.
Mm-hmm.
This is conceptual.
Yeah. Yes.
So conceptually, it's okay.
Yeah.
To think of it like that.
Yes.
But it's different to.
Yes. So we want to see what's the difference. Certainly it's true, but what's the difference? Yes?
Because something else is giving existence, like ممكن الوجود بلا غير, so you don't give existence to yourself. The existence is coming from.
Yeah. But why here is not contradiction? The reason is that we are not talking about existence or non-existence of this Mahiyya. Certainly any Mahiyya either exists or doesn't exist. بالحمل الشايع. We are talking about hamla awwali, means is this mafhum taken in this? We say no, wujud is not taken, Adam is not also taken. It's the problem. We are not saying that it's neither mawjud nor ma'dum. We say neither wujud is taken, nor Adam is taken, nor millions of other concepts are taken inside. It's just haywan and natiq. The concept of wujud is not taken inside the Mahiyya. So there is no contradiction. Okay. Now, because Mahiyya has equal relation with existence and non-existence, if something exists, does it need explanation or not? Yes. Because this in itself doesn't explain why it exists. In itself can exist, cannot exist. So we need something from outside to determine that it should exist or it shouldn't exist. So if you have something here, if you have a cup of water, if you have, I don't know, anything, a pen, a tree, this exists because something has made existence necessary for it. And if it doesn't exist, again, it's because something has made non-existence necessary. It cannot be itself, because itself has equal relation with existence and non-existence. Yeah? We cannot bring ourselves to existence. We cannot also take ourselves to non-existence. Yeah? Something has to decide whether I exist or not exist. Okay? Sometimes people may think existence needs cause, but non-existence doesn't need cause. But from an intellectual perspective, both need cause because we have equal relation. But what is the cause for non-existence? This is tricky. For existence we need cause. For non-existence we need cause. What is the cause for non-existence? Lack of the cause for existence is the cause for non-existence. عدم العلة علة للعدم. عدم العلة علة للعدم. But this is illah. It means aql needs this in order to be able to explain. Okay. Now that something makes it necessary to exist, then it exists, or makes non-existence necessary, then it doesn't exist, has led to philosophers introducing this concept, wajibul wujud bil ghayr, or mumtana'ul wujud bil ghayr. Any mumkinul wujud bil zat, if it exists, it's because something has made existence necessary, so has become wajibul wujud bil ghayr. It has become necessary by the other. If it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist by the other. Yeah, so it's wajibul wujud bil ghayr or mumtani'ul wujud bil ghayr. Now I want to use your mind and you tell me, can wajibul wujud bil zat be also wajibul wujud bil ghayr? No. Wajibul wujud bil zat is not influenced by anything, so cannot be wajibul wujud bil ghayr or cannot be mumtana'ul wujud bil ghayr. Wajibul bil zat is just bil zat, finished. Mumtana'ul wujud bil zat is also always mumtana'ul wujud, nothing can influence it. Okay? Just mumkinul wujud bil zat can be wajibul wujud bil ghayr or mumtana'ul wujud bil ghayr. Either is necessary by the other or it's impossible by the other. Question, can we have mumkinul wujud bil ghayr?
Yes. I don't know.
We cannot. Mumkinul wujud bil ghayr. Because if it is mumkin by ghayr, that means by what is bizat?
So parents who give birth to children, the child is cause of parents, they're both mumkin.
Okay.
But
the child is mumkin bizat. So why you say mumkin bil ghayr? If it is mumkin bil ghayr, means by itself was not mumkin. Then it had to be wajib or mumtana. And we said wajib bizat and mumtana bizat cannot be influenced. So mumkin bil ghayr, it doesn't exist. We have mumkin bil zat, okay, wajib bil zat, mumtana bil zat, and wajib bil ghayr, mumtana bil ghayr only. We cannot have mumkin bil ghayr because mahiya by essence is mumkin. Nothing can make it mumkin from outside. Okay? So philosophers say Ashay'u ma lam yajib lam yujad. There's a rule that I explained, al-mahiyatu amkanat fahtajat fa'ujibat. Illa, when it is complete, when illa is complete, everything that we need exists, then existence for the effect becomes necessary. Wajibul wujud bil ghayr. If anything lacks, means we don't have complete cause, so Adam becomes necessary. Okay? Inshallah, in more detailed books on philosophy, then you would see why we cannot have awlawiyya. I don't want to go to that discussion because it may be difficult for this stage. So, he says, according to this approach to the world, then you would see that in the world there is nothing loose, there is nothing that is undecided. Everything is well organized and based on the causal system. Everything, if it happens, it has to happen. If it doesn't happen, it has to not happen. There is nothing just by happening by chance. There is another discussion that he doesn't discuss here. He says in more advanced courses we should study, but he just makes a quick just reference. Similar to this, we can have this discussion about ghaya. Everything that happens has a reason, a purpose, an end. And this whole world is moving towards an end. Okay? And I don't mean by end as to finish. I mean a purpose, ghaya. Okay? So you can say for a perfection, for example, you can say they are moving towards God. Everything is moving to its own perfection, but the whole world is also turning and becoming what they have potential for. Then he says there are also other discussions that we don't have time to talk. One of the discussions in philosophy is about wahda and kathra, unity and multiplicity. Another discussion is about quwwa and fail, potentiality and actuality. About jawhar and araz that I briefly explained during question and answer, substance and accident. Mujarrad and maddi, material and immaterial. These are also some other discussions. So alhamdulillah, we managed to have a kind of just introduction to philosophy based on Ayatullah Mutahhri book, but I think it helps you. If you are interested in philosophy, please continue. If you are not interested in philosophy, make interest. Don't just say this is too difficult for me, because it was just a kind of like alphabet. And when you are dealing with a new subject at the beginning, many things are new, everything is new, but you have to get used to it, and then inshallah little by little you can find your place. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.